clock position actually TVT, Terran versus Terran mirror matchups on Metalopolis cross positions. This might be a long drawn out macro game given the race's nature and the spawn spots. Arcantil, what do you think about this TVT?
Yeah, TVT was considered actually a very balanced match. No, not really balanced, more like drawn out. Because in the past, GSL's tournaments, Terran versus Terran match were very tough because Zerg and Protoss weren't just represented enough. So the Terran versus Terran matches have been there's a lot of discovery there because it's been very played. It's going to be very interesting because we're going to see which tech trees they're going to go to, which unit position, and as you mentioned, the positions are very sure. We're going to be seeing a very macro-oriented game here.
Oh, so anyway, I think we might go to a remix in Superpogi is complaining about lag, but Kenchi he will be the more interesting player here. He will be more interesting since he's a random player, just roll Terran, and he might do something really wacky in this TVT matchup.
Have they even scouted each other yet? I don't think so. Actually, Superpogi just missing Kenchi's. So, Superpogi will be the first one to see that his opponent's base. Kenchi will just be slightly delayed, just a second. And apparently, we are experiencing some minor lag here from Kenchi.
This is pretty weird since it was Superpogi was complaining lag, and Kenchi said he was fine. Then suddenly Kenchi just lags out.
Yeah, maybe that's why they weren't experiencing the lag because it was on Kenchi's side. So in his view, since the server is trying to adapt to him, that's why he's not noticing the lag. Okay, so we're back, and Kenchi is just gonna go inside Superpogi's base. There we go. We see that actually Superpogi is going for the wall in using the supply depot and barracks. Probably gonna make another supply depot or factory or whatever in there. In the meantime, Kenchi is not going for a wall in. He's going for a secret barracks. Did Superpogi spot this already? No, he hasn't spotted the secret racks here from Kenchi. And Kenchi is just going to produce units from there. They're probably going to be going for a timing push.
Anyway, Superpogi spots the proxy barracks. Actually, not a proxy barracks, more of a macro racks. And he will be, knowing the strategy, that Kenchi will be going for a lot of marines. While Superpogi just goes for a reactor with a single barracks. Also adding a factory later on. This might be a little complicated from Superpogi's side of what he will do, but Kenchi is going for an attack. Goes with his 3 marines. Let's see what will happen as Superpogi is adding 1 bunker above his ramp.
And in the meanwhile, Kenchi sending his first SCV to see what's going on up there. He sees that the bunker is not yet complete. Gonna be trying to push, gonna try to kill. He should be targeting those marines. Yes, he is. And that SCV, he does deny the finishing of the bunker, which is a very big thing here, since Superpogi will have to pull another SCV, and there it is. And the bunker, did get finishing. Kenchi is pulling, doing the damage that he could. He did spot the building composition here on the outside ramp, but did he spot? No, he didn't spot the factory. So we'll see what will happen. And at the same time, his expansion is almost done.
So Kenchi might be in a state of having a scouting error, since he might think that Superpogi will go pure marines since he just saw the reactor in barracks. Didn't see the starported factory yet. So he might go in a misinterpretation. Might go for the wrong strategy. He goes for adding more 2 barracks, So he might go for a huge Marine Marauder army. Anyways, Kenchi scans, sees the factory in Starport. He might change his strategy or not.
Okay. I mean, he's still searching the stim packs. Uh, on the other hand, Super Poggy is creating his first siege well, to defend the ramp, the choke
Choppy,
point.
choppy.
Oh, crap. Well, uh, as I was saying, this tank will allow him to defend the front of his base, but since Kenchi does have an expansion up, his macro is a bit better since he will be receiving a lot more money compared with Super Poggy. But apparently, as I'm seeing their production tab, Super Poggy has not created an SCV for a while, so might be forgetting them, which is a very, very awful thing to do because you should always be creating SCVs at any point in the game to allow yourself to get a big macro economy or economy at least.
So I think you the last sentence you just said was straight up, no choppiness. What did you do? Did you fix their lag or something?
Oh, no, actually, I didn't do anything. I just talked slower, just in case that if there's a lag.
Well, I think the words per minute has something to do with that. I mean, so Super Poggy, Super Poggy has two siege tanks and a huge amount of marines on his way to Kenchi's base. Kenchi might not be prepared. Super Poggy scans, seeing that Kenchi only has purely marines. This may prove to be troublesome, but Super Poggy isn't researching siege mode. So you will just go for tank mode tanks here. And Kenchi is adding 2 factories. Will catch up with the siege tank count. And looks like Kenchi will be looking for a counterattack in case Super Poggy goes for an attack. And I think Super Poggy won't be hesitating to attack now. Will be proceeding. I think he will be waltzing in here. Only a few marines defending. And nice flank from Kenchi. But it will not be enough against Super Poggy's army.
There's the stem from Super Poggy trying to see if there's a flank behind, but there is not. There's only the 3 siege tank, and the last marine dies for him. Kenchi will be able to take out these siege tanks and this push. In the meantime, his Super Poggy's reinforcements are getting pulled back. You're not going to be able to do that much damage compared to these counter marines. At the same time, Kenchi does still have good macro sense. He is making more marines, which he will probably be sending to get some pressure on Super Poggy.
Kenji just playing this game so far with purely marines. His tech labs on his factory is just on the way, not yet finished. Medivac will get taken out by these 5 marines. Only purely marines from both sides. This might be very, very interesting if this will be a marine versus marine combat. And one marine... Marine gets taken out.
Very brave. Sacrificing himself to give Kenchi information on Super Poggy's base.
The marine are very expendable, only costing 50 minerals. Very, very useful. Can attack both land and air. And let's see what both players are. It looks like Super Poggy doesn't have the shield upgrade yet, but Kenchi has them now. He has them upgraded. Kenchi might have the slight edge over Super Poggy, and he can attack now and do some really huge damage against Super Poggy right now.
Yes, especially since doesn't have that much army yet compared to Kenchi. And he's going in before the bunker gets done. He's killing a lot of marines, and Super Poggy is forced to pull some SCVs out of his mineral line, out of his expansion. But it's not enough. Too much marines from Kenchi. Gonna be killing it off. The siege tank just remembering to get into siege mode, barely holding off. But Super Poggy's expansion, his command center goes down. Very undefended. A very big loss here for Super Poggy since he did just lose an expansion, while Kenchi is gaining 1 since he did expand as he was attacking.
Kenchi going for the huge lead. If he has an advantage, make it bigger. Take on expansion and take 1 yourself. And the gap is really huge right now. Super Poggy only has 2 siege tanks defending his ramp. And he's pretty much contained inside his base.
Very nice contained there by Kenchi, and he's pulling some Marines on the island beside Superpogi. Probably gonna be attempting a drop. Maybe is he creating? Yes, he is creating Medivacs. So he's gonna be a pincher attack in a bit later. In the meantime, Superpogi creating another command center. It's going to fall later in the Marines on this other side of the. So I'm not sure what he's gonna try to do with this command center. But in the meantime, he is going to try for a drop, sending his
No, changes his mind.
Okay,
Changes
I'm
his mind.
confused now. He just drops them in his base. So there's the scan by Kenchi. I think that's the reason why, because once there's no reason for it to do with a drop. So he does send one Marine, however, outside his base to stop. Is the Marine count there? Although none of them are in green, all of them are in yellow, orange, and red HPs. So if the siege tanks are in good position when Kenchi pushes, he will be able to kill a lot of them.
Huge drop coming from below Super Pogi's base. 4 drop ships full of marines and tanks. Kenchi scans, seeing if coast is clear. Coast is clear. Going to drop those 4 tanks. 4 tanks will be entering siege mode. Huge